a graphic designer, runs Body and Format Press and teaches at Micah and Tufts. My talk centers on pedagogical workshops and collaboration that encourage cultural exchange through collective practicing and community building. I believe the pedagogical workshop as an interrogative exercise is a place where practice has no preconceived outcomes but engages with dialogue, risks, intuitive creativity, and happy accidents. Here are some programs inspired me to think about workshops as a place to gather discussion and craft on the need for today's graphic design curriculum and the relevance of typography and design history and today's society. This is done by Workshop Project. They're an archive for radical curricula. Common Studio Workshop I attended in 2022 that was happened in Amsterdam. Casco Art Institute developed a series of fun activities on unlearning mundane habits with such rich existing workshop inspirations. I see workshop rich making and thinking, focusing the process rather than the final results. And they serve as a tool to gather individuals who want to practice together without hierarchy and institutional pressure. Designer Chuck Gonzalez and I designed this weekend workshop for Micah Thesis Grads 2022. We asked students to collect images and specific thesis terms that are related to their thesis, which is not limited in identity, culture, love, hate, methodology, and past works. And then they connected any two listed words into a final deliverable, which was not disciplined in a certain format, but visually and sensibly engaging. The objective of this workshop is to generate new relationships from seemingly unrelated topics and sources by first collecting, then connecting, and finally designing. Here are some of the examples of students' workshop results over the weekend. We suggested seeing connecting as mapping to finding relationships among the terms and images. We proposed some questions. Is your collection linear or should it be grouped as categories? Can it be spontaneous and experimental? How would you interrupt hierarchy? This was from Chen Luo, who was interested in time semiotics, loop memory, etc. And then she landed on mapping out a clock diagram showing her workshop weekend time spent data. The final deliverable was very open-ended, which could be a poster, booklet, website, animation, or even installation or performance. But we encourage them to think about if it's a poster, is it a series of poster? Are they static? What method of printing would best suit for this? And how would you want your audience to experience it and why? So the goal was to build connections among one's belief and interest by considering material, language, personal experience, identity, culture, scale, space at a fast pace. And it is a workshop that transformed research into collective visual experiments, but we really wanted them to jump into the making process for their thesis instead of just overthinking too much. This is the second project. Through transforming participants' responsive creation into performative and installation typography through the process of writing, sharing, and moving, Marianne of Radical Characters and I designed the workshop to explore embodied making and collective publishing. In the short lecture session, we proposed questions including what does collective publishing look like through collaborative labor in a shared space and time, and how can this workshop create a space for cultural exchange and expression? Before they started practicing writing, we introduced the history of evolution of Hanzi and how different writing material would affect the stroke of Hanzi, which is Chinese character. So we practiced writing on this large-scale wearable posters, and we thought it's not only the typography experimentation, but more lively with posing, collective moving, dancing, and photography. And I particularly enjoyed practicing the phonetic and hieroglyphics of Hanzi through letterform writing. And then they follow the guidelines of when to start of the first character, when to move to this next one, and when to start of experimenting with a stroke. We also provided different pen tips for them to see the contrast. Here at the last step, with participants signing their names as a colophon to finally publish the posters. And then after the workshop, we thought of how can we just involve the whoever didn't come to the workshop but also experience the process. So we made this scene with miniature wearable poster thumbnail size and written instructions. So there, if you go through the book, the zine, it should be very clearly formatted, almost like the same instruction as the workshop. With collaboration and pedagogical workshop, my aim is to create a new interplay of workshops by activating the body in traditional graphic design mediums. It fosters a sequence of processes, discourse, cultural expression, and prolongs the conversation after the completion of a project. And that's it. Overall, thank you.